Hey y'all, it's Dan for Numerical Lion, and I saw the story the other day. I think it was yesterday, about a 111-year-old woman, the granddaughter of a slave, dies in Georgia. And I knew there were numbers behind it. I mean, as soon as you see numbers in a headline, you know this number 111. And I'll show you what's going on here. There's a picture of her meeting Michelle Obama. Willie Mae Hardy was born the grandchild of a slave in 1908 when Theodore Roosevelt was president. She lived during two world wars, the Great Depression, Jim Crow, and the Civil Rights era. She endured to vote for a black president and even meet his history-making wife. So she died in her sleep on Wednesday at 111, one of the oldest people in the country. She enjoyed a wonderful life. Her caretaker and granddaughter, Veronica Edwards, told CNN from their Metro Atlanta home. She didn't want for anything, Edwards said. She was involved in the community until her health declined. She was caring and had a loving heart. She was born on an old plantation. Hardy was born on March 11th, 1908, on a former slave plantation in Junction City, Georgia. She remembered the stories her grandmother Nancy told her about life as a slave, working from sunup to sundown, picking cotton, and having no freedom. So, just talk about how she's got 31 great great children and 4 great 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 grandchildren. More news by the numbers, and I'll show you why in a second. Oops. So let's get to the decode here, if we can. So this happened. She died on a day with 42 numerology and 62. And I'll show you why that's interesting. 12 plus 11 plus 19 is 42. And this is all about slavery, right? So he was a slave. Slavery 42, and it's more N-word coding, that Nigger 42 as well, stamped on black people. So let's have a story about that on a day with 42 numerology. So she says her secret of her longevity was trusting in the good Lord. And that equals 293. Trusting in the good Lord. It's also kind of a BS number. This is bullshit. Deception. Anyway, 293, the 62nd prime number. And she died on a day with 62 numerology. Right? 12 plus 11 plus 20 plus 19 is 62. She died in Georgia. Georgia also 62. Georgia 62, also 44. Right, like kill 44. What else? So she born on the 11th and died on the 11th. Interesting. She was 111 years old, another 11. And the secret of her longevity was trusting in the good Lord, as I mentioned before. Trusting in the good Lord equals, with the S exception, where S is 10, it equals 121. And 121 happens to be, its square root is 11. Right? So another 11 popping up. Born on the 11th, died on the 11th. She was 111 years old. She had 31 great children. 31 happens to be the 11th prime number. 31, the 11th prime number, right? And she had 31 great children, as they say. Also slave, she was a slave. Slave also 31. See that? And 31, the 11th prime number. And she was born with 14 numerology. 3 plus 11 is 14. Slave 14. Dead 14. Right? Slave. Anyway, I'll get into some of these other numbers. Negro 59 as well. And 76. Oops. Negro. Anyway, let's get back to this decode here. She died in Georgia. Georgia is 127, the 31st prime number. Remember we were talking about 31. 127, the 31st prime number. So she died 3 months and 1 day before her 112th birthday. So I'll show it. Let's see. 3/11. Oh, let's do the. She died on December 12th. So she died 13 weeks before her birthday. So if you include the end date, it's 3 months and 1 day. See that? 3 months and 1 day. We're talking about 31 again. So she voted for Obama. Obama also equals 31. Right? 31, also 14, born with 14 numerology. Slave 14. It was also 9 months and 1 day. Look at that. So it was 9 months and 1 day as far as from when she was born to when she died. So if you include the end date, 9 months, 1 day, right? And she died 92 days, end date included, before her 112th birthday. Right? If you include the end date, she died 92 days before her birthday. 92 days. Why is that interesting? Because granddaughter of slave equals 92. And that's what they're hyping in this article. She's the great granddaughter. She's the granddaughter of a slave. 92. Also 209. And I'll tell you why that's interesting. 209 is 29. Hardy equals 29. Her last name, Hardy. Hardy 29. All right, 79 murder number. And 29, the reflection of 92. She died 9 months and 1 day without the end date. 91, the 13th triangular number. Show you 91. 91, the 13th triangular number. And Willie Mae Hardy equals 233, which is a significant number. Willie Mae Hardy, 233, is the 13th Fibonacci number. It's the cycle of life, spiral, mathematical concept. Same with the triangular number. These are all mathematical concepts. So Willie Mae Hardy died by the numbers, you know. Born with 23 numerology. I think slave is 23. Born to be a slave. Slave, 23. Just more racial shaming from the same people who brought you the Tuskegee experiment, you know, lynching, slavery, you know, what else? Crack cocaine, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, Korea, heroin epidemic, you know, all the drugs, all the ghettos. These are the same people that brought you that. You know, the Great Depression. By the banks brought about the Great Depression. They brought about Jim Crow. The civil rights was, you know, more ridiculous. And then she got to vote for a black president and make history, right? I remember the election of 2008. All the black people went crazy, you know? Oh my God, a black president. I'm going to vote for him. Just like, oh my God. Are you going to be fooled here in 2020, you know, for a woman? If Elizabeth Warren is running, if she gets the nomination, oh my God, a woman. Let's vote for a woman. Don't you know that they're all in the club? They're all born and bred to be. How do you think Obama got to be the candidate? You know? Anyway, so that's the decode. Rest in peace to Willie Mae Hardy. Some people would say that 111 years old is a long time. I would tend to agree. But you know, with the food that we eat and the lifestyle that we have, we can live a lot longer than the current average age in America, which is like 74, 75 years old. And 111, you know, we could live twice as long, really, and even probably even longer. But, you know, all the drugs, all the medical intervention, the environment we live in, the habits that we have, we really don't know how long we could live. And let's look at this one last thing before we say goodbye. Junction City, Georgia, where she was born. Want to wait like 18, like race. Remember we were talking about the number 13 before? I'll have to write out 13. It equals 99. So, thanks so much. Rest in peace to this woman, Willie Mae Hardy. There she is. Please learn this code. It's gematria. The code of the elite.